Before COVID-19 hit Fiji, I was working as a tour guide, and I've been working in tourism for about close to about 16 years. When I lost the only job that I knew, which was tourism, it was a bit hard for me, especially that renting, and so it was a bit difficult paying bills. Also putting food on the table. There were times where we would just have one meal in a day. It was really hard. It's words cannot describe. But the hardest bit was when depression came in. And for a single mother, it's very difficult because your only thought will be your kids. And in order to survive, you need to do whatever. But then I believe it was the fact of thinking not to give up on my kids, and also something I would like to teach them also when growing up. They know life is never easy. So that's when I decided to pick myself up. We couldn't wait for help to come. So the only thing I could do is think of things that I know that could help my family, especially my children. So the first thing I knew I could do was hair cutting. It was a hobby for me. And one time I was going through Facebook, and then I came across this new butter for Fiji. And I saw how a lot of people were buttering things. So that's when I thought maybe I should give it a try myself. I didn't know what to butter, but what I knew was that I was good in cutting hair. I never attended any school. It was just something I used to do, seeing my grandparents cut my hair, and then from there I started doing it. I would call everyone I know, the kids around, and I used to cut their hair. And so from there I decided to put it to practice again. And then there were people who were coming. And ever since then it's been going. Just lately when our numbers, the COVID cases went up, it stopped for a while, so I turned to baking. I was not really a person who baked, but just watching all these things on social media, it gave me ideas. Probably I should try baking, and that's when I started. And now I've been getting a few orders from people, friends, families. So that's another thing that's been putting food on our table and also paying the bills. And what I'm trying to do is that there was a movie that inspired me about a little boy who gave back. And that was the same thing I decided to do. If I could help someone, it will be passed on. So with the business I was doing, I then decided to try and help other people too at the same time. So at one point I was cutting hair for free. I would go down to the village because most of the people at my village, they are unemployed. So I cut their kids' hair, and whoever needed a haircut, I gave them a haircut. And then in return, either they would give me fish or tapioca, and then I'll come home with all that. I really do hope that tourism does pick up very quick. I know it's not going to be that quick, but hopefully it does, so that way I can actually go back to work. When there comes a time of your life where you feel there's nothing, hold on to the closest thing in your life, and that is your kids. And do know that if you can go through that 9 months of pain, I'm sure you can go through whatever that COVID has, put us through. It's been difficult. I don't want to be a hypocrite and say, you can do it, because I know how it feels to have nothing. But never give up on, if you have something set, if you have something, you want to achieve, go for it. Like if you have talented in baking or whatever that you can do to earn money, go for it. Instead of waiting, just do something to help your family, especially your children. So what I did, I got to know some young youth on TikTok, where we made very good friends, and then we decided to start up a page where we try and help those also who are struggling. So even though majority of these young people that I met through TikTok struggling themselves, I was struggling myself, but then we decided like to do solis or whatever. For example, sometimes if I sell and I know I made extra, I would give that as part of my contribution, and we'll collect a certain amount, and where we will go and help the families that we know that really is struggling. And I think it was last month, I decided to do a Sangamoli drive, just to help the families that I knew that were struggling. And what I did, I made a promise on TikTok, because I would go live, and we would talk about all this depression and all these things that people suffer from during COVID. So I made a promise that with this Sangamoli drive, if I was to hit $1,000, I was going to shave my head off. So I was expecting that would go for like a week or so, but I was surprised that after I had gave my word of shaving my head, I think after 3 days we hit 1,000 target. But it was actually extra, and it was really good because we got to reach out to those families. And for me, I know how it feels to be in that certain position. So it was really good, because when someone helps you, you get that feeling, like that happy feeling. So I wanted to give that same feeling back to someone. So I was so fortunate enough to have met these certain people on TikTok, and where we have now called this little group the Gifted Hands Fiji. So ever since then till now, that's what we've been doing. So whatever I make from here, I would take like 10% of what I earn and then put it onto our Soli, and then that's when we contribute or help those who also needs assistance.